Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you short infernalist tier list. So pretty much it has two S tiers. First is demonic position. This gives you so much damage, like plus 4 levels to any spell skill is over 40% more damage, maybe closer to 50%. It is very powerful. However, downside is it is not sustainable. It has 20-second cooldown, and for each second you have it, you take more damage. So the idea is you only use it against threats and bosses, which are the hardest enemies to deal with. So this helps you with that. Another ST is Loyal Hellhound, which is pretty much rip-off from PoE1. The only thing that it doesn't do is that it doesn't taunt enemies. However, to have skill to be roughly the same power as in PoE1 to have it in PoE2 is crazy. Like most ascendancies has been nerfed like by half. Look at that eye. It had two projectiles, now it has one. This one is pretty much full power, and it is broken. 20% more defense. Like easy S tier. When it comes to A tiers, I will start with Master Darkness, which is kind of colleague from demonic position. It will limit the maximum amount of health loss, which is great if you are able to build your character around that and have a lot of recovery. And this could allow you to stay almost at all times, if not at all times, to be in demon form and have lots of damage. And the only downside is that you need to build your character around it. But if you are able to do that, this is very good thing to take. So A tier. Another A tier is By That's Will, which will give you a bunch of spirit. However, you reserve your health. But I still think that this is quite worth it because spirit is very powerful. It can give you powerful auras and minions. Then we have here Bringer of Flame, which I'm not exactly sure how it works. However, the thing that I kind of understand it is that you go for like minions and they hit or them hitting enemies contribute to ignite chance, and if the ignite eventually happens, you have stronger ignite. So you go for your own spell and you go for minions, and you all together contribute to strong ignite. However, I'm not exactly sure how this works. If it works differently, it might be like much worse. However, if it works like this, it is quite powerful for ignite builds. Seething body. The downside is that you get 20% more damage only in some situations. So it's only useful for ignite builds if you are able to fill your infernal flame easily. So it's useful in that cases, but not for hit based builds because you will not have huge uptime on the damage. So that are all the A tiers. When it comes to B tiers, those are only situational. Altered Flesh only good if you have high fire and chaos res. Otherwise useless, so pretty bad early on. Beirut's case, you sacrifice one form of defense for utility, which could become defense. Maybe sometimes useful, but not by default. Bayard's hand, you sacrifice one form of defense for another. Again, not inherently useful, but could be built around. Pyromantic Pact transfers your mana into Infernal Flame, which has upside that you don't need to care about, like Mana Flask, and you can always cast spells. However, if you get to maximum, you lose a lot of health, and it also doesn't have any like huge upsides. You only don't need to care about mana, so only B tier because of that. And the last B tier is Grinning Immolation. Gives you up to 30% more critical damage bonus, which I'm not sure if it's exactly 30% more damage if you always crit. Maybe yes, maybe not. But the thing is that there is downside. If you crit, you take damage over time. So the first question is, how much crit chance can you get? Early on, not really much, so not worth it. Later on, maybe quite worth it. But there is still the downside. How do you deal with downside? A lot of max fire res, ignite immunity, ignite like damage reduction. So it's only B tier. Situational in few builds.